Good morning, Bravo bosses, and welcome to I Take Bravo Very Seriously with me, your host, Dana. Today on Pop Culture Pulse Check, we are talking about personal and housekeeping items, VPR, Nikki Garcia, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Love is Blind, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Southern Charm, Real Housewives of OC, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Summer House. Let's get into it. Okay, good morning, everyone. I am happy to see you today. Here we are on YouTube, even though my skin is awful and I am wearing so much makeup. So, excuse me. I'm feeling very self-conscious today, but I'm happy to be here. And I am anticipating that there are a lot of new listeners slash viewers today. Viewers, I mean, over on YouTube, because I had such an amazing interview last week with Brad Kearns, who you probably know as Ariana Maddox's best friend. If you haven't had the chance to listen to the interview, you can do that on Apple or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, or you can watch it on Hurrdat Entertainment's YouTube channel, so you can subscribe over there. Brad was just really amazing. He gave us so much information, so much tea. It was just so great to talk to him. He was such a sweetheart. And I was just sort of thinking, like, afterwards, like, what I wanted to say. Like, I just wanted to tell him something for, like, to Ariana. And I just wanted him to know that, not something personally specific, but I wanted him to know that there are so many people out there, whether they're content creators or fans, who were so personally affected by Scandival in a positive way, where it brought them out of their depression, where it gave them like something to do or like a purpose. And in terms of maybe necessarily being into the show or watching the show or even creating their own pages or starting podcasts. So I wanted him to know that to pass on to Ariana, and he said that she knew. He said that people have come up to her and said, like, you've saved my life. So it felt good to know that at least she knows that despite the awful pain that she went through during that time, obviously, that there are so many people who, in some way, did benefit from that. So I hope you had the chance to go over and listen. But if you are new here, or even if you're not new here, I thought I would take the chance to reintroduce myself and then explain what these shows are going to be going forward. So, hello, I am Dana. I host the show. I take Bravo very seriously. If you don't know the name of the show or the reference, it is actually from Vanderpump Rules. It's from season 3 or 4 of Vanderpump Rules, I believe 3, where the gang is at the beach and Ariana and Kristen are not in a good place, and Kristen isn't there yet, and everybody's talking about how Kristen had a sketch comedy show, and Ariana's sort of annoyed, and she's like, well, did Kristen take a sketch comedy class? And Sheena's like, I don't think so. I think she just like does it. And Ariana's like, well, I take sketch comedy very seriously, so it annoys me when people think they can just, do it. And so it's just a play on that. And it was just a silly thing because they're obviously great friends now. So it's just a silly thing. Don't come at her for it. We all have our moments. But it became sort of a thing like I take sketch comedy very seriously. I take Bravo very seriously. So that's the name of the show. What the show is going to be going forward is on Mondays, you're going to get an audio and video show. So audio, you can get it on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can get it on YouTube on Hurrdat Entertainment's YouTube channel. So I've noticed that some people are still subscribing to my old YouTube channel. I take Bravo very seriously. Don't subscribe to that, okay? That's not being updated. I mean, if you want to watch old episodes, you can go ahead and do that. But since September, I've been with Hurrdat Media. So go and subscribe to Hurrdat Entertainment's YouTube channel. And so on Mondays, you will get an audio and video episode from me, and it'll be a pop culture pulse check. And that will be all the news in the Bravo sphere, as well as some other reality TV news like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Love is Blind, maybe The Ultimatum, Nikki Garcia, Total Bellas, like we're talking about that today. So it'll still be in the reality space. And then on Saturdays, I'll be giving you mini recaps of other Bravo shows. So right now we're doing Southern Charm, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and what's the other one? Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So you can get that on Saturdays, and that will be audio only. And you'll be able to get that, obviously, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So that is the show going forward. And me, I am Dana. I live in Toronto. I have a little Pomeranian comedian named Judy Judice, and she is my world. I run the Instagram account, The Bravo Investigator, and I take Bravo very seriously. And you can also follow me on TikTok there as well, The Bravo Investigator. And you can follow me there to get, just sort of memes and other fun content. And I post a lot about this show as well. That's what the Bravo Investigator is. It's more like clips and memes and stuff from Bravo shows. And then my I Take Bravo Very Seriously account is obviously more updates on this show in particular. And I also just wanted to let you know I have merch, so you can get that at hurrdatmedia.com. And it says stuff like I take Bravo very seriously, and I even have a mug that says I take Bravo very seriously, so it annoys me when people think they can just watch it, which is obviously a play on the name of the show. So this is me, this is the show. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it. We're going to start with our Vanderpump Rules news. So anything in the Vanderpump Rules related sphere, which also involves the Valley, I am going to give you some updates on whatever is going on there. So let's start with poor Katie and Ariana. They are now going to court over this Chef Penny woman. This woman I feel is a snake. So I'm going to read you guys this In Touch article that I have here. It says Ariana Maddox and Katie Maloney headed to trial with ex-business partner after being recast on VPR. Recast. Vanderpump Rules alum Ariana Maddox and Katie Maloney are headed to trial with their ex-business partner Penny Davidi as the parties have yet to reach a settlement in their fight over their sandwich shop, In Touch can exclusively report. According to court documents obtained by In Touch, a Los Angeles Superior Court judge set the trial date for the parties to face off on March 16, 2026. The court believes that the trial will last for 5 days. Ariana, 39, and Katie's fight with Penny over their sandwich business, Something About Her, has been going on for several months. Back in July, Penny, who worked as a chef, filed a petition against Ariana and Katie, 37, accusing them of breaching a deal they had in place over the business. In court documents, Penny claimed that the Bravo stars promised her a 10% cut of the business to serve as COO/director of culinary at the West Hollywood restaurant. Penny said the deal was reached in June 2023. The agreement said the parties were to jointly engage in the business of developing, creating, owning, operating, promoting, and otherwise profiting and benefiting from a restaurant, fashion, merchandise, and lifestyle brand, business, and property to be known as Something About Her. Penny says she spent a ton of time and money on developing the brand and obtaining trademarks for the business. She said she was promised a $7,500 per month salary that would increase to $10,000 over time per the alleged deal. However, Penny claimed that things turned ugly when Ariana and Katie refused to comply with the terms of the deal. Penny asked the court to find that the deal was valid and to force the women to comply. Something About Her opened in May 2023 and has long lines ever since. Katie and Ariana denied all allegations of wrongdoing in the case. Their lawyer argued that Penny had failed to allege sufficient facts to support her claims. The duo asked the court to throw out Penny's petition and to not grant her request to enforce the deal. The date for the legal showdown being set comes as Bravo announced that producers would be recasting Vanderpump Rules for season 12. Sources told In Touch that the original cast was kept in the dark about the decision until receiving a phone call hours before the network revealed their plans to the world. Ariana reacted to the news by posting a series of throwback photos of her friends and said, "A decade of love and support is what I'll miss the most about it ending. You made the show what it is." She ended, "To the fans who have shown up for us, old and new, it's all because of you that we are here. I'm feeling at peace with this closing chapter, and I'm excited for everything that is to come. I don't know that these were the best days of our lives, but they were definitely something special." Okay, so yeah, I just feel like Penny is a snake. My recollection of this was that she didn't have anything in writing to prove that she had this agreement with them. So, and I also remember that she was like running around to like every seedy news outlet that would listen, including like The Sun. And I'm really annoyed that Lisa has always worked and defended this woman. Because like at the reunion, like Lisa was like on Penny's side and saying like, oh, she thought she was gonna be a partner. But the girls never wanted that and they never said that. And that's why I feel like we got here. Like for some reason she thought she was going to be part of like a trio when they were always a duo. And then she just started running to every news outlet that would listen and try to claim fraud. So I don't know. But also, has anyone noticed that Lisa hasn't been to Something About Her yet? Hello? Anyone? I don't think she has. Just saying. Okay, so Tom Schwartz spoke to Us Weekly this week, and I'm going to read you guys this article. This is from December 6th, so it's called Tom Schwartz Admits He Doesn't Love the Way Bravo's VPR ended for OG Cast, a little toxic. Okay, so it says Tom Schwartz understands why Vanderpump Rules went through an overhaul, but he doesn't like the toxic ending for the original cast. I'm at peace with it. I kind of knew the announcement was coming, but I don't necessarily love the way season 11 ended, Schwartz 42 exclusively told Us Weekly at the grand opening of Pinkies by Vanderpump at the Flamingo, Las Vegas on Thursday, December 5th. That's a long sentence. It was a little heavy, a little toxic, a little fractured. Schwartz argued that there should have been one more season with him, Tom Sandoval, Ariana Maddox, Lala Kent, Katie Maloney, Sheena Shea, and James Kennedy before Bravo introduced a new group to take over. But I mean, the network made the right decision, I guess, he continued. And we got 11 seasons. That's insane. I'm so grateful for that. So I have nothing to gripe or complain about. It will probably be 11 of the best years of my life. I got to travel the world, and yeah, man, it was exhilarating. Schwartz has been feeling nostalgic and sentimental since the news broke that he wasn't coming back for season 12, adding, I still talk to everyone, mostly everybody. Everyone's thriving, everyone's doing their thing. After season 12 was previously put on pause due to tension between the current cast, Bravo confirmed in November that production begins next year with Lisa Vanderpump and a new group of servers from her Sir restaurant in Los Angeles. Schwartz, Kent, 34, and Shea, 39, however, are expected to make appearances on season 2 of Vanderpump Rules spinoff The Valley. I pop in, you'll probably see some cameos, Schwartz teased to us on Thursday. I hang out with all those people. The Vanderpump Rules news came days after Schwartz and Sandoval 42 announced that they were closing their bar Schwartz and Sandy's. The duo have cited the fallout from Sandoval's cheating scandal with Rachel Leviss and subsequent split from Maddox for causing a decline in the business. It's been challenging. I'm honestly walking away proud. I gave it my all. We gave it our all. We really did. We put our hearts and souls into that venture, and we had some really good times, and I learned a lot, Schwartz explained on Thursday. And we're trying to finish strong. We decked it out. We decked the halls. It's all holidayed out, and we're still available for holiday bookings. He continued, honestly, I want to say thank you to everyone. The outpouring of love in the past 2 weeks since we made the announcement has been insane. Like, it's packed right now, so it's kind of bittersweet. But yeah, I guess good things come to an end. While Schwartz's business venture with Sandoval is wrapping up, he's still involved in Tom Tom with Vanderpump 64 and her husband Ken Todd. Schwartz showed support for Vanderpump on Thursday when he attended the opening of Pinky's, her new establishment in Las Vegas. By choice, I don't know anything about it. I love the element of surprise. I want to walk in. I know it's going to be effing gorgeous. Extravagant, bespoke, epic visuals, and all that good stuff, he shared with us. But I haven't seen any sneak previews. I haven't even seen the digital renderings. I don't know anything, and that's the way I like it. Schwartz specifically wanted to wait to experience what Vanderpump has created this time around, saying, "When I go to a new city, I do my research and everything, but I love to be surprised, and I always am with Nicole Lane, Lisa, Pandora, Vanderpump, and the whole gang are involved. It's the dream team." So, in terms of what Schwartz said about Vanderpump Rules, like I agree to some extent because it sort of ended in like a weird way where we didn't know it was an ending. And I do wish we at least maybe had gotten a few episodes with the OG cast before transitioning to the new cast. But I mean, I still don't know. I still am processing it in terms of what I think should happen. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares what I think. I'm just saying at the end of the day, I honestly can understand if each of them even had a different perspective. So let's move on because we had Ariana speaking to Us Weekly as well this week. This was from December 4th, so I'll read you this article. It says Ariana Maddox is happy to no longer keep the secret of Vanderpump Rules season 12 casting shakeup. I was just relieved that the public finally was privy to the conversations that we've been having, Maddox 39 exclusively told us. So it's nice that the news is out there, and yeah, now I don't have to sit here holding that. As for whether she has plans to pop on the spin-off series The Valley, Maddox said, no, I don't. However, she's happy to host the new VPR cast at her and Katie Maloney's sandwich shop Something About Her and presumably filmed there too. If any of those kids next door at Sir want to pop into Something About Her and have a sandwich and have a little argument over some Cameron sandwiches and some Eveline wine, we'd love to have them, she shared. While Maddox's time on VPR has come to an end, she is already looking forward to what's next. I would love to go back to Broadway, Maddox, who made her Broadway debut as Roxy Hart in Chicago earlier this year, told us. I'm turning 40 next year in 2025, so I would love to feel that feeling. Just last week, the reality star performed for one of her biggest audiences yet, singing Love Fool on a float for Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade broadcast. She continued, I'm manifesting this right now. Feel that feeling that so many women talk about when they hit 40 or in their late 30s, 40s. They feel that there's something so comfortable in themselves. I'm looking forward to feeling that. I don't know that I felt that yet, so I'm manifesting that now for myself. However, having been in the industry going on 15, 20 years, Maddox said, she finally feels like she stepped into myself and what I really love and what I believe in, and adding, I have the most amazing team of people around me, and so it feels good to feel like I'm somewhat in control of my own destiny at this point. The Love Island USA host went on to gush about her boyfriend Daniel Way, whom she started dating in April 2023. I don't think I've ever met someone who feels the way about me that Daniel feels. He thinks I'm the most beautiful person in the world, the funniest person in the world, the smartest, she shared. He's constantly telling me how smart I am and how much he believes in me, and I just feel like having that kind of partner makes everything feel so easy. I never feel stressed, I never feel worried, and he's always reassuring me, and it always feels really nice. When asked if she thinks wedding bells could be in the future, Maddox teased, I don't know. Typical Ariana. So I would love to see the new cast make cameos at something about her. I think it would be an interesting way to connect the new audience to the old audience. Ariana, honestly, in terms of what she does after this, she will obviously thrive. And it's beautiful that she's getting to live her dream because, she's always wanted to be on Broadway. And she's gonna probably continue to host Love Island for many other seasons. She's probably gonna go back to Broadway, and she's probably going to do just so many other amazing things from this. So out of everyone, she's sort of the last one we have to worry about, but in the same vein, I love that she's still keeping her roots in LA. She has a home in LA. She has something about her in LA, which is two doors down from Sir. So, I mean, if there was a commercial saying like Ariana making a cameo in the next episode of Vanderpump Rules season 12, I might watch it, right? Like if I know I'm gonna get a glimpse of her, I might watch it. So I could see these little cameos as a way to create that connection between old and new. Just an idea over here, Alex Baskin. If you're listening, you're probably not. Okay, what else? Oh, and I love that Dan sounds like such a wonderful partner, which Brad also told us. To date someone who truly loves like everything about you is such a rare find, especially for Ariana because she is like admittedly someone who has a lot of insecurities. So to be with someone who makes you feel just like perfect, I'm just really happy for her and that just feels right. That just feels like she's with her perfect person. And then Kristen Doty did Glamour this week, so I'm going to read that article to you now. And this is from December 6th. It's called Kristen Doty on Bittersweet Vanderpump Rules Shakeup and Her Own Happy Ending. It was a juxtaposition that felt cinematic to Vanderpump Rules fans. Kristen Doty, the show's iconic and yet at times controversial former star, announced her pregnancy mere hours before news broke that Bravo would be replacing the entire cast for its 12th season. VPR fans went positively feral over the way the two announcements aligned, with many crowing that Doty either masterminded the whole thing or had essentially become the server to rule them all, playing the show's Game of Thrones like politics to come out on top. But Doty 41 says that she doesn't see it that way. She had no idea what was coming when she announced via People Exclusive, Natch, that she and fiance Luke Broderick are expecting their first child. It was a complete coincidence, she tells Glamour. It's been a long and winding road for Doty ever since the show premiered in 2013, back when she was still an aspiring actor and model. Doty soon became one of the show's stars and main driver of plot lines, from her bid to prove her ex Tom Sandoval was a cheater, to her precarious employment at SUR, and off and on friendships with co-stars Stassi Schroeder and Katie Maloney. When her contract for VPR was not renewed in June 2020 after she received criticism for calling a police tip line on a black coworker, Doty spent a year or two away from television. She returned for an episode of VPR in season 10 following Scandival, then returned to Bravo full-time in March on the spin-off show The Valley, the series which also features Broderick, which will return for season 2 sometime next year. After it was announced that Bravo would be recasting VPR entirely, many fans began to share memories of the past decade of the show. For Doty, the news was bittersweet. So much of my adult life has been centered around VPR, and it truly feels like the end of an era, she said. I'm curious to see who they bring in and where they take the show from there, but I'm grateful for the experience. Glamour chatted with Doty about what she thinks about the most iconic moments from the show, which Valley co-stars helped with her gender reveal, and her advice for her new servers, or for the new servers. So it's like a Q&A. So Glamour said, "Congratulations on the pregnancy. How was your journey how has your pregnancy journey been so far?" And Kristen said, "First time pregnancy comes with its own surprises and obstacles, but I feel so lucky and so excited to be a mom." And then Glamour said, "Are you planning on finding out the sex?" And Kristen said, "We already know the sex. Of course, I couldn't wait to find out. I love to plan and cannot wait to start on the nursery. I had my doctor tell Brittany, and then she and Zach revealed it to us." So I don't know if this is public yet, but it's a boy. I just know this because, like, I just have, like, some insider knowledge. So I don't know if she ended up releasing it to the public or not. Like, I know she did a gender reveal, and she knows, and her friends know, but for everyone else, it's a boy. Okay, just okay. And then Glamour asks, "Have you started nesting yet? Any decision on nursery themes?" And Kristen says, "I am now a nester above all else. My Pinterest boards are coming to life with every throw pillow. The nursery is going to be neutral, a little boho with pops of accent colors we've picked." Glamour said, "Do you have a name?" Kristen said, "We've had our baby name chosen. It just feels right." Glamour said, "You also got engaged since we last saw you on the Valley. Any wedding plans yet?" And Kristen said, "We are not touching wedding planning at the moment. After the baby's born, we'll have more time to focus on the wedding. That's been our plan from the beginning." Glamour said, "Have you seen the online chatter about the fact that you announced your pregnancy on the same day Bravo announced the recast of VPR? Many people are celebrating it to you as winning. Do you feel that way?" And Kristen said, "I have a few friends who sent me some memes, but I definitely don't view VPR being rebooted as winning anything. I'm trying to be present and enjoying every moment of being pregnant and starting this new chapter of my life with Luke." And Glamour said, "How do you feel about your time on the show now that the era you were a part of is ending?" And Kristen said, "It really is bittersweet. There's so much that I'm grateful for, and there's so much that has served as such a learning experience for me from being on that show. While I closed that door a long while ago, I'm happy that I still have such a good relationship with Bravo and all of my old producers, and that I'm still able to have the platform and that I have that with the Valley, so viewers can see how much I've grown and changed since VPR." Glamour said, "A lot of fans were sharing their favorite, most iconic scenes or moments from the show, and many of them involved you naturally. What VPR moments do you think you are most known for?" And Kristen said, "Suck a Dick," "Miami Girl," and "Healing with Ariana" on the last season. And I do love that. Glamour said, "Have you connected with your former castmates since the announcement?" And Kristen said, "Of course. I think people forget that we are actually friends in real life." And Glamour said, "Finally, what's your best advice to the new servers headed to VPR?" And Kristen says, "The only thing I have to say to the new servers is, you wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me." Kristen has grown so much. Like it just shows how fickle the fandom can be to go from like raging hate for her for like from years ago to like outpouring of love now. And like wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me is exactly right. Because unless the newbies are ready to get like backhanded, bullied, and probably end up crying like on a daily basis, they aren't going to last a minute. But do I agree that the show as we know it with its OG cast members is over because it has strayed too much from its original concept of the show? Yes. But that doesn't mean it can or should be recreated because, like, why can't we just let the legacy of VPR live as it is? I honestly think that that would be the best because if the reboot doesn't do well or it doesn't work, the legacy of VPR will just be tainted with that memory. That's just my opinion.
Okay, BBs, I want to take a minute to talk to you about Fungies. Fungies is the brand that's making mushrooms mainstream by transforming wellness into something fun, delicious, and accessible for everyone. With their range of functional mushroom gummies, Fungies is helping people naturally improve their focus, energy, immune health, relaxation, and even beauty from within. Their gummies are gelatin free, vegan friendly, and made with clean, natural ingredients. They are free from artificial dyes and junk you don't want, making them perfect for the entire family. They also taste pretty great. So there are four different kinds of gummies, and my fave so far is the Lion's Mane mushroom gummies. These gummies are the perfect blend of taste and effectiveness designed to help focus, memory, a healthy mood, and overall brain health. So I've tried these gummies before work, and I have to tell you, I feel like I can concentrate and I can focus better on the task at hand. Ready to give your brain a boost? You can find these yummy gummies in the vitamin section at your local Walmart for less than $10 or conveniently shop on their website, eatfungies.com. Enjoy free shipping and 20% off with code DANA. That's eatfungies.com.
So Lala was on shenanigans, and I guess for some reason Sheena felt like she needed to defend Lala because I guess it's sort of out there that Lala has no friends because the last time she did Watch What Happens Live, which was a while ago, basically Andy was putting up all of these pictures of people that are in the Vanderpump Rules universe and seeing if Lala is on good terms with those people. And Lala wasn't on good terms with most of those people. So I guess Sheena wanted to make sure that the public knows that Lala does have friends. So I'm gonna play a clip from Shenanigans so you can hear what Lala had to say in that regard. All right.
please
who
come
are you
over.
close with? We've got Stassi, James, Ali Schwartz, Janet, Michelle, Brittany. Like, I mean, I feel like you have so many friends in this group. So if he were to pop up other people, who would you have said yes to?
I mean,
Stassi.
you, obviously.
Yeah.
You weren't on there. Stassi, I speak to often.
Do I make the cut?
Yeah, Janet, Michelle. It's no secret that I am really fond of burning the bridge. Like, I love doing it.
Some bridges need to be burned.
Yeah, like I've always said, I like my circle to be small, and the smaller, the better. Like, it's like this right now. I'd like to get it down to about that, because then I know there's no liabilities. We're all safe. I like quality over quantity. I've always been this way. You guys telling me you have no friends, not an insult, fact, and thank God. Like, I have the people that I need.
Yeah.
And if any of them at some point don't bring me peace, or I feel I don't want to bring them peace, then I look forward to throwing gasoline on the bridge and lighting a fire. It's like my favorite thing to do.
Okay, so one, I think it's weird that Janet and Jared Lishcombe and Janet Caperna, who are close with Ariana, co-sign on this and are there. And I do understand wanting to keep your circle small in some way. Like I am the same way. I have very few friends right now, so I do understand that vein. But three, it's the burning bridges and having things be so final over trivial matters. It's that part of her that I don't understand because. Because it was that shenanigans clip that was going viral from last week where she said, "Oh, I meant what I said, but, I was mad at Ariana about the show." So if you're mad at someone about the show, why would it be friendship ending? Why would you end a friendship over something you were mad at her about that's just about the show? And then there was like the Kristen Doty thing where she was mad at her about how she believed or she saw a clip of Kristen acting on a podcast that actually wasn't what she thought it was. So it's the ending it over these very, very trivial things that I don't really understand. I understand wanting to keep your circle small. I understand quality over quantity, but I just don't understand why it has to be so finite and why you have to burn a bridge so hard. That's just what I don't understand. So we finally got a little bit more from Katie Maloney in terms of how she feels about the ending of VPR, because all we really got from her was an Instagram story where she was wearing that old Sir dress that they wear like in season one, the ones where they have to like basically tape themselves into it. And it was just like a very short caption that said like, "Thanks for the memories," basically, which just seemed like she didn't really care that much. So, on Disrespectfully, her podcast last week, she spoke on it a bit more, and she basically said that she had no intention of going back to VPR, even if it did come back. So, I was actually really surprised to hear that from her. I'm going to play that clip from her podcast now.
Vanderpump Rules. Vanderpump Rules, as we've known it, is going to be no longer. They announced last Tuesday that they're going to be rebooting it with an entirely new cast for season 12. And none of us OGs will be returning.
Walk us through it. How are you feeling about it? What did you think when they told you? Tell me everything.
Well, okay. I mean, you know, as many as, other people close to me. I didn't plan on returning.
You know what? It's funny. I was wondering if you were going to talk about that. And I want you to. Like, I think that people should know what was like happening in the background and what your thought process was, because I think in hindsight, after the news is out, I wasn't sure if you want to say that, but you should.
I mean,
that has been
maybe it doesn't matter at this point, but I had made a decision months ago after this past season. I mean, I needed to move on with my life. And this is before we knew like the show was going to be put on pause, before any of that.
This was like after the reunion.
Yeah.
This was like in the spring.
Yeah. So, and I had talked to like our producers about it, and I told them, my decision on that. So I mean, I felt personally ready to move on from the show. I felt like my life and where I was moving in a different direction. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, I was prepared to move on from the show. I was prepared. I think it'd been a long time, for a moment, like many seasons of my life. It was there. I lived many lives and went through so much on that show, but I don't know. I just got to a point where I was just like, I don't know that I can live and grow and be the version of myself I want to be on this show any longer. And as far as the show itself, I mean, I think I understand it. I think that the group and the dynamic and what makes the show that show would be hard to do, because it was so like fractured at the end there, and many of us don't hang out. I mean, yeah, there might be some people that talk to this person, or these people hang out, or these two hang out, or these, but as far as it being like a cohesive unit, it just doesn't exist anymore. So I felt like,
And another thing that she said during the podcast was that the finality of it is surreal. It's knowing that it's just not going to be anymore. It's final. It's out there that it's final, she noted, that it's just done. It's still a weird feeling. It is sad. It's like that closing of a chapter is sad no matter what. She also put to rest rumors that the cast was demanding tons of money, as she claimed that negotiations for a new season had not even been discussed before the reboot was announced. So, I mean, you could already sort of feel like Katie wasn't coming back. Like, she seems sort of checked out in terms of anything VPR related since the reunion. She just posted that one quick Instagram story, like I mentioned, as the goodbye to the entire series. And like she has so much to look forward to with the sandwich shop and with the podcast and her boyfriend. So again, I could see why she's not in such a panic. And it also seemed from what Brad told us, Ariana didn't want to go back either. It doesn't seem like she was going to. And it seems like from what Katie said, there was lots of these discussions for many, many months. So it just seems more like shocking to us as opposed to maybe them. But I, again, think they're going to be fine and they're going to be okay. And if anything, I think they're going to be better than okay without Vanderpump Rules. Then we had a little bit more. Ali Luber spoke to Us Weekly. This was on December 4th. It's Ali Luber says James Kennedy spent time grieving the Vanderpump Rules cat shakeup. See, the article says Ali Luber shares new insight into how her boyfriend James Kennedy handled the news of Vanderpump Rules getting a full cast shakeup for season 12. Looper 28 exclusively told Us Weekly at her Tuesday, December 8th Dogsgiving event with Real Mesa Dog Food that Kennedy, 32, was grieving and just feeling his emotions the day he got the news about the future of the Bravo show. I was at the airport because I was flying to Hilton Head for Thanksgiving. James was at home, and he got a call from the producers saying it was a great run, but time's up basically. I don't know, something like that. It was much nicer than that, Luber recalled. I wasn't there, so I didn't get to see him, but I would call and check in, and he'd be like, I'm fine. He was just going to the gym and doing his thing, but I could tell that he was just a little low, but I think he was just reflecting. Luber was a recurring cast member on VPR for season 10 and 11, while Kennedy first appeared on season 2 of the reality series before becoming a main cast member during season 4. Although Luber noted that the show's new direction wasn't a huge shock for the couple, she said that it still took time for Kennedy to process the official announcement. I think he was just like, wow, that was crazy. It was just an insane part of his life and such an important part of his life. I think he's so proud. I know he's so proud of where he's at now compared to where he started with the show, she said. So I think it's just gratitude and looking back and going, holy shit, we just did that, and now we can move on. The show documented Kennedy's relationship with Kristen Doty, Rachel Raquel Leviss, and Luber, as well as his decision to get sober and his DJ career. Luber, who has been dating Kennedy since 2022, told us that she is not necessarily missing the cameras. When we're filming, we are really locked in for those few months, so without the cameras, it's pretty much more simple. It's quiet, it's peaceful. I do miss seeing people and having those friendships and getting to see them every day, but it's just different, she said. It's just a bittersweet feeling of knowing that that chapter is closed, but it's also really freeing at the same time. Like, okay, we can just go live our lives and not worry about what storylines we have or what we have to share. As for where she and Kennedy stand with the other VPR alums, Luber said that she sees Sheena and Brock all the time and are on really good terms with Ariana. We love Ariana's boyfriend Daniel, but everyone's just so busy doing their own thing, so it's hard to see everyone, she added. And she and Kennedy settled into their new off-camera reality. Luber said that Kennedy is traveling and DJing a lot while she's focused on her virtual astrology business. During the week, when we're both home, we wake up and I do a couple astrology readings in the morning, and then he makes us breakfast and we go on a walk with our dog Hippie, Luber said. Then we come back and we go to the gym and lay in this house and we go to bed. It's very simple. The pair haven't ruled out the possibility of a VPR cameo season 12 either. James and Lisa have a really close relationship, so I would not be surprised at all if James drops into Sir. Is that planned or a thing? Absolutely not, Luber said. I do think a VPR cameo is a possibility. Why not? But who knows? So personally, I agree that James is like the one cast member who could possibly organically be part of the reboot because he DJs at Sir. And he's also like a decade younger than the rest of the OG cast. So he would be closer in age to the people that would be on the reboot cast. And even if not, he will do well with his DJ empire. So I'm not worried about him either. So, in just a little bit more of Vanderpump Rules or Vanderpump Rules side news, remember how Lala's assistant Jessica is no longer on her podcast, Give Them Lala? We weren't really sure what was going on there, but we had a feeling it had to do with money and that Lala didn't have any because we didn't know what was going on with Vanderpump Rules. Now we know there is no Vanderpump Rules, so It seemed like maybe she couldn't afford Jessica anymore. And we got a little bit of teasers from Jessica over the past few weeks of like, she was doing Instagram stories where you'd see like mics in the background or like a little office and stuff. I'm like, okay, she's starting a podcast, but like about what? And then on the weekend, she posted like a pink Instagram story with like a squiggle through it. And then you can see portions of her through the squiggle. And it says across it, reckless little teaser because IDK, it's Friday and I can. And then coming soon with like lips. So a podcast obviously of some sort. And like I just don't know what it's going to be about. And like as I always say, everyone has the right to have a podcast. Everyone is allowed to have a podcast. I have a podcast. I just don't think I'll be tuning in. And I just again, I don't know what it'll be about because the only thing I know about her is that she's into horses and jujitsu, and I'm just not into horses or jujitsu, so I just don't know if it's a reality TV podcast, like I'll listen, but I just don't think it is. That's all. Okay, one last piece of Vanderpump Rules or Vanderpump Rules related news, I promise, but this is a good one. Okay, so Lisa Vanderpump was on the Housewives Nightcap podcast, which I love, and I was on that podcast. Hi to Lauren and Emily from Access Hollywood who host that podcast. And I actually told Emily and Lauren earlier in the day that, I don't think Lisa's going to give you very much because she likes to like come off a certain way. And they were like, oh, we're interviewing her, we're going to Vegas. We think she's going to give us some tea. So, okay, I'm going to play you guys a clip of what Lisa said in terms of the new cast and why this was an important time for a cast shakeup.
We have a cast shakeup on our hands. Why was this the right time?
It wasn't just my decision, to be honest. It's the network. Everybody really thought about it. It became complicated. Some people didn't want to film with others. We'd had the kind of relationships, that were so kind of entwined, and it felt like we'd told that story. I mean, it'd been 12 years, 11 seasons. So I think it was time to go back to grassroots and be really, the whole premise of the show was about the restaurant business, and then it took off. I cannot minimize, and I don't want to, the importance of how great that cast was and how open they were, and I loved them all. But it was time to call it a day, and it was it was all of us, a lot of talks, and of course I'm sad to see, but I still keep in contact with them. I think Schwartzy will be here tonight, and it was a hard blow for. I didn't know that Schwartz and Sandys was going to be announced, so they were closing on the same day we were announcing Vanderpump Rules, which was, that was not good timing at all.
Was money a huge factor to not bring back the OG cast?
Well, that's Bravo's decision, and I'm not privy to that. Of course, the show did become expensive. It'd been on for many years, but I wasn't privy to that decision. But I think it was like we told the story.
Right.
And I think it was it's time to go back to the original premise of the show, which was so fascinating. Also, it became complicated. This one didn't want to film with this one, and this one wouldn't be in the same room as that one. And that's not what it was about, And, I think we had a great run. I think it was fantastic. I love them all. But I think now it's time to do something different. And I'm excited for the future.
So what are you...
So, one thing I haven't said yet, and some other podcasters have, so I'll say it for the record, is Lisa Vanderpump has done something very brilliant here where she has found a way to stay relevant here. Because we've been saying for several seasons now that Lisa Vanderpump's presence on Vanderpump Rules hasn't meant anything anymore. She has always served as like this mother figure to them and boss figure, but she, like they haven't worked at SUR in many years, so it is sort of weird that she's around, and it's hard for them to find ways to fit her in. So if we go back to the grassroots, as she says, original concept of Vanderpump Rules, where she is the boss at SUR and she's dealing with all these servers who are in her employ in a real way, then she gets to stay relevant and she gets to continue on this show for as long as she lives, which I feel like will be a long time. I feel like this woman will never die. So it's brilliant on her end, but I just, she's always so careful. And for her to say, like, she's not privy to decisions about money, I really don't believe that. So you guys are gonna die when you hear what Lisa had to say about Kristen Doty. This is so funny. I'm gonna play you this clip from the Housewives Nightcap podcast where they talk about Kristen.
And I never talked to her, but
She's pregnant.
yes. How
Lisa's like,
on earth
okay.
did that happen?
I was surprised. It's just,
Why?
I don't know. I'm always
You-
surprised when someone gets pregnant.
Really?
It's a big deal.
Who's the
gift.
father? Do we know?
Yes,
We do.
yes, her fiance.
He lives.
Oh, she's
Yes.
getting married?
Yes, and she's like
Oh,
tiny
Lordy.
success on the Valley.
Okay, I mean, I'm really not very involved in the Valley, even though I'm one of the producers. I'm really not very involved. I've been underground.
You've been
for
busy,
6
but
months.
I'm sure everyone's going to want to go to the Valley now.
Yes.
That's a successful
Well,
show.
some of them might, yes, pay a little visit.
They're all gonna want to come.
Yeah.
They're all going to want
Okay, and
Okay, so Lisa pretending that she doesn't know that Kristen is engaged and pregnant is ridiculous. And like, who's the father? He's one of the main cast members on the show that you are an executive producer on. You can't honestly expect us to believe that you don't know who the cast members are on the show that you are an executive producer on. Like, she really hates Kristen, and Kristen has always made an excellent point that Lisa knew about Miami Girl and the whole setup of everything and was involved in the orchestrating of that day and production of that event, yet Kristen was the one who was fired and exiled from Sir and Lisa and like her good graces for like all time. So, just saying. All right, so as you will recall, Nikki Bella and Artem Chigvintsev went through a domestic dispute earlier this year. Nikki Bella is from the show Total Bellas on E! She's actually going to be on upcoming season of The Traitors, season 3, which, yeah, I'm really excited about season 3 of The Traitors. And Artem is from Dancing with the Stars. So they haven't really been on TV for a while, but what from what we saw from their relationship online, it seemed like they had a very beautiful relationship. They have a young son named Mateo. And then one day we see all these articles out there that there was like some domestic violence call where Artem had called the police on Nikki and then said that she threw shoes at him. And then he called the police back and said, no, don't come. And they said, we're coming anyway. They come, they find scratches and stuff on Nikki, and then they arrest Artem. So Artem doesn't end up being charged. But we don't end up really hearing from Nikki. And Nikki and Bree have a podcast, but Bree has been basically running that show for a little while. So Nikki finally came back to the podcast and she spoke for the first time on the incident with Artem. So I'm going to play that clip for you guys now.
You love someone so deeply, which, I walked down the aisle and said I do because I loved this person so deeply. I would have done anything for them. I wanted to give them the world to my last breath, and I would have taken a bullet for them. And when something like this happens and then you feel so betrayed, you're just trying to figure it out. You're feeling so many different emotions, and the whole day was just shocking. I handled things with a lot of love and grace because I loved this person so much. I still wanted great things for them, or I wanted them to heal. I wanted them to get help. I wanted them to be the best version of themselves because also that's what my son deserves. I don't want to drag my son's dad because I want my son to have the greatest dad ever because that's what Mateo deserves. Right. So I tried to handle this whole situation, even though I was in so much pain. I was just trying to do what was best for everyone, but that would get turned against me. And, oh, she's fine, or oh, this, or oh, that. And when it came to our relationship, it's sad. Like, it just hasn't been great for a long time. And I really played it up like things were a lot better than what they were in the public eye, which I have regrets in that because what I felt was like, if I can just put this person on a pedestal and maybe if this person hears it enough, what I believe in them, they can believe that in themselves. Why do you feel the need that you had to do that? I think we were just so public and I felt like I wasn't being heard at home. So maybe he would hear me out loud in the public eye. Or do you think that you feel like, your fans, your supporters want to see almost like this fairy tale relationship. So you feel like you have to give it to them. That, yes. And I didn't want to have another failed public relationship. And more than any of that,
So it just shows that pictures don't really mean anything because nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. Like, I just feel sad for her and I feel sad for her son. Divorce is sad no matter what, like, but it just sounds like he wasn't her person. But it didn't, like, yeah, I think a couple days before this entire event, she had posted for their 2-year anniversary and had this whole long post about how happy they were. So again, it just shows that people will put on a certain air or something for the internet, and we just never really know what's going on behind closed doors. So, all the best to Nikki, and I hope her and her son are okay. All right, let's move on to some Real Housewives of Salt Lake City news. So, there was this weird rumor that Monica Garcia and Sharif Shaw, so that's Jen Shah's husband, made out or something. And apparently, this was in Heather Gay's book. So, she spoke to Page Six, and I'm just going to read this Page Six article to clarify this story. So it says Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Heather Gay is clarifying the crazy story about Jen Shah's husband, Sharif Shah, allegedly trying to kiss Monica Garcia, which is detailed in the Snowflake Holder's new book, Good Time Girl. I just told it as a reporter would, with not a lot of emotion in what went down, because those were her words, and that's the thing that she told me multiple times, and it was reported back to me. Gay 50 tells Page Six's virtual reality, emphasizing that she was not the one who made the claim. That's the thing that Garcia told multiple people, and it was reported back to me. In response to a portion of Nexium who seemed to believe that the hearsay started with Gay, she says that couldn't be further from the truth. I just told the story like a true crime podcaster. I just took the information, all of it, she reiterates. I was Monica's friend until I discovered that she was beyond the Bravo fan account Reality Von Tease, you know? So I took all the information as it came in and was like, let's look at this, because the timeline was long and it was a crazy, crazy story. In Good Time Girl, Gay's sophomore literary effort following her New York Times best-selling memoir Bad Mormon, published in 2023, the author writes about an alleged encounter between Garcia 40, who once worked for now jailed felon Jen 51 as part of her Shaw squad, and Sharif 53. In a final Hail Mary for a handout, she reached out to Jen's husband Sharif, Gay pens in a chapter titled Receipts, Proof, Timeline, Screenshots, covering the breakdown of Garcia's relationship with Jen. Supposedly, they agreed to meet up in the parking lot of a gas station, and according to Monica, the exchange quickly turned romantic. She claims he tried to kiss her, but she pushed him off, saying, "We can't." Sharif got out of the car and immediately left. Per Gay, no one believed Garcia, who was allegedly getting desperate and was known for cranking up the delusion when cornered. The Shaws categorically denied Garcia's claim in a November 27th statement to People. Coach Shaw has never had or attempted to have a romantic relationship with Monica at any time. Both my clients, Jen and Sharif Shaw, have ignored the continuous attempts for bait by Monica and others for storyline, a rep for the pair wrote in part. Jen continues to remain consistent with their journey of positive rehabilitation and will not entertain frivolous narratives from those seeking a rise from her or her family. The purported smooch attempted had nothing to do with Jen and Garcia's fallout, Gay writes in her second time. Gay's claim that Jen, who is currently serving time in federal prison for orchestrating a decade-long nationwide telemarketing scheme, pulled away from Garcia after she requested proper compensation for being Shaw's assistant. Later, Garcia sought revenge on Jen by creating Reality Von Tease, a now defunct Instagram page, with a mission to expose the fraudster while also spreading gossip about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast. Gay unearthed Garcia's sordid internet activity in epic fashion in the season 4 finale, leaving no space for the rookie star to return for another season. Gay hasn't heard from Garcia since losing her legal battle with the Beauty Lab and Laser star last month. And it goes on about that whole thing, which I'm not going to read. So, even though Heather and Monica are both liars, I do think Monica said this, but I don't think it's true. But I am wondering how long Sharif plans to stay loyal to Jen, because isn't she going to be under or like behind bars for like 7 more years or something? I don't know. I could see him cheating on her at some point in the future. Just saying. Okay. I have a little bit of Love is Blind news. So you'll remember Nick Dorca and Hannah from last season, Hannah Giles. If you watched season 7 of Seattle, I know a lot of people didn't. It was a pretty decent season. Sorry, not Seattle. What did I say that? Washington, D.C. And it was a pretty decent season, but not a lot of people watched it. I don't know, for some reason there was just like no couples to really root for or something. But you may recall that this couple both sort of played up their looks to each other and were both disappointed in their looks for each other. But Nick specifically was accused of calling Hannah a grenade behind her back. So Nick spoke to Page Six on December 2nd. So I'm just going to read this article to Page Six. So it says, Love is Blind star Nick Dorca shades ex Hannah Giles. She looks fantastic but needs to work on her personality. Love is Blind star Nick Dorca says his ex-fiancée Hannah Giles looks great but claims no one likes her from the cast. The season 7 participant shades his ex while speaking to Page Six's Danny Murphy and Evan Reel at Monday's virtual reality live show in New York City. Talking about Giles's glow up and dramatic weight loss, Dorka told us, "She does look great, she looks fantastic, but the thing is, I know her. I've seen all of her." He continued, "Just because you look attractive, that's part of it. The other part is your personality, and I know who she is, and she has things to work on." Dorka29 also referenced Giles's fallout with co-stars Marissa George and Katie Bollinger, whom she met while filming the Netflix dating series. "No one's perfect, but it did surprise me that Marissa and her weren't friends with Katie and her weren't friends anymore. At times, her parents and her brother even had hard times. So I think she needs to do a little bit of self-reflecting, but like I said, none of us are perfect. We all have our red flags. I think she'll find the right person someday, maybe." Dorka also denied allegations that he called Giles 27 a grenade when he saw her for the first time after dating in the pods. "I never called her a grenade. I said I was underwhelmed by her looks, but all the guys were," he said, claiming that the other men on the show were also dissatisfied with their partner's physical appearances. "A lot of that got thrown out of context," Dorka added. "I never called her a grenade." Dorka and Giles' brief love story and eventual breakup played out in the most recent season of Love is Blind. In the weeks before their wedding, Giles repeatedly critiqued her fiancé for being immature, calling him out for not knowing how to make pasta and still being on his parents' phone plan and car insurance policy. I'm younger and more mature than you," she told Dorka in one episode. Giles also wrote down a list of the realtor's flaws, which he discovered during their trip to Mexico. "I was just writing down a list of things that maybe he needed to work on or red flags I'm seeing, and I laid it down," Giles told Page 6 on October 2nd, explaining she didn't expect Dorka to find it. Yes, she did. She told us she didn't necessarily regret making the list, explaining it helped their relationship. Dorka, however, told us that he wished Giles would have approached him and about her concerns instead. "I understood exactly where she was coming from, but it's a conversation to have like this," he explained. "You don't need to write some things down and put it beside my bed. That's a conversation that should have been face to face." Dorka continued, "Everyone comes from different backgrounds, right? Everyone has a different way of handling things. I appreciate her at least putting it out there, rather than holding it in." After the season wrapped, Giles underwent a major glow up and she embarked on a health and wellness journey. At the time, the reality star who admitted she had liposuction before the show revealed she weighed 145 pounds. She also denied taking Ozempic to achieve her weight loss despite online speculation. So anyone who watched this season knows that Hannah was very rude. But she's also very young though, and despite how mature she thinks she is, she still has time to grow. I think, yeah, she's 27. So she has an opportunity here with time and experience. She'll grow, she'll get better, and she does look great, but Nick is right. It's funny because he wasn't great either, not necessarily in looks or in personality. He wasn't a great catch, but he just looked better by comparison as a person because she was just so awful. So you couldn't help but feel bad for Nick when, again, Nick wasn't a great catch either. She just communicated it in such a shitty way because she's young and just doesn't know how to communicate properly, despite how mature she thinks she is. Okay, so we have a little bit of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills news, in the sense that Teddi Mellencamp is actually living in Kyle Richards' closet, or something like that. And she has told the kids that she is getting divorced from Edwin, but I'm gonna play this clip so basically she has a new podcast now. Oh my God, there are so many podcasts within the two T's in a pod empire. There's the Eds, and then Popping Off, and then, so yeah, there's this new one that she's doing with Erica, which isn't about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's gonna be, I guess, about being moms and pop culture and drama and gossip, or I don't even know. But I'm gonna play you guys this clip from their podcast so you can hear what she said about living with Cal. Sorry, not that guy. Okay.
Switch out.
Yeah. So I live at Kyle's.
Do you really? Holy shit.
I know. I saw you filmed in the glam room.
You know what? Don't be telling on me. Man, fuck you. Thanks. Is that where you're sleeping?
That's my bedroom now,
No.
bitch.
No. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh. Up there?
Yeah. Isn't that great up there? It's so cozy.
I thought you were living in the house in the back.
No.
Fuck yeah.
Isn't that a
You know
dream
what?
up there?
It
You wanna
is a
move in with
dream.
me?
Yes, I do. Actually, hold on a second. We need to have a night. We need to do a thing.
I know.
need to come over and hang out with y'all.
And the background's beautiful. So we can start potting from there because the setup is
Whatever. I mean, and Kyle would love to have us there.
I know. She's
because the house is in,
yeah.
quiet. The house
Minus the dogs.
I love those dogs.
I love the dogs, but there's a shit ton of them.
Okay, so that's cute in a sense. Like, I don't know, like I don't kind of hate it because they are going through the same thing. So while Kyle and Dorit are also going through the same thing, yet they can't seem to get along about it or sort of bond over it, maybe at least Kyle and Teddi can bond over it. And I also kind of appreciate in a way that Teddi is being so positive about her new circumstances. But I don't feel bad for her in any sense, of course. She brought all of this on herself, but she did mention on one of her many podcasts that this was the first Thanksgiving that she spent without Edwin, is that his name? Edwin in 15 years, and that her family was like really apparently coming at her about what happened. So it doesn't sound like she even really told them what happened with Edwin. Um, I guess maybe they just saw the online rumors and speculation, and so maybe they were even coming at her, and she was like, "Listen, I'm gonna leave unless you just accept me and love me, and I'm here to just be with family." And so they did. But I guess I'm glad that she has family and like a big support system around her, but. Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, she did tell her kids, which I guess is a good thing, but it doesn't seem like she's telling anyone what really happened. It seems like she's really keeping that close to the chest. And I guess it's good that she and Kyle have each other to go through this with together. And she's got so many podcasts to keep herself busy. Okay, so we have a little bit of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives news. Jennifer Affleck took a social media break, which I did notice, but at the same time, in general, do we need to always announce when we're taking a break or when we're back? I mean, can't we just not be on social media and then just come back to social media and like not let everyone know? I don't know, just a thought. Anyway, so over the weekend, Jennifer Affleck posted a story saying, "Hey guys, it's been a while. I've been focusing on my physical and mental well-being, which is why I stepped back from social media. Thank you to everyone who has shown me so much love and support this year. Whether through a message or a simple hug in person, it has truly helped me in so many ways." Then she posted another story that says, "It's been a struggle to get out of bed on most days, but this week was the first time in a while that I felt like myself again." And then she showed it out to her nail artist. And then she showed like a series of all these slides of like a project she's working on. So again, I'm not sure if this is like more fake drama for the show, but am I the only one who's sort of over it? Like, we were so into this show, and then we heard they were coming back with like 20 episodes, and we're like, yeah, more, more. We want so much of this content. But now I'm kind of like, eh. Like, if this were to come back tomorrow, I'd be like, eh. I don't know. Am I the only one? Did it like reach its hype and then go away? I kind of hope not. Like I want to be into it, I do, and I'm sure I will when it comes back. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just too sour. I don't know. Okay, we do have a little bit in the Southern Charm territory, so I don't know if you guys listened to my Saturday episode. I did mini recaps of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and the premiere episode of season 10 of Southern Charm, episode 1. And so a little drama came out of that episode. So basically, in one of his confessionals, Shep said, "I know," in regards to Taylor, so you'll recall that Taylor Ann Green is his ex-girlfriend, who is also on the show. And in one of his confessionals, Shep said, "I know that her mom and dad, meaning Taylor, wish that she was still with me," he said in a confessional, "and her grandfather and grandmother and her whole family." So this was posted on the Bravo TV website as like a clip. And then Taylor like clipped that and then posted a response to that in her Instagram story. And she said, "Yeah, I'm gonna pop off here for a second publicly. Let me shout from out from the mountaintops that both my parents, my grandparents, and yes, even my recently late grandmother all couldn't be happier that I've moved on and am such a better, happier relationship. So this comment sends me, what planet do you live on, bro?" Then she posted another story that said, "You cheated on me 4 times that I know of, and you think my family wishes I was with you? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Delusional. And thank God I'm everything your quote unquote girlfriend isn't. I want nothing to do with you. Leave me and my relationship alone. I will not stand for this." Wow. So that is definitely a different Taylor than we've ever seen. So Shep has always been very pretentious. He grew up very privileged and continues to be, so he really thinks like very highly of himself. And I don't think Taylor's family currently thinks that. And good for her for calling him out. But is it also just me who thinks that like we never really got the real details of what happened between Shep and Taylor? Like we know that he cheated on her, but I thought it was just once, and I'm not even sure in what way because she would always like allude to it or he would allude to it, but I just feel like we never really got details. So if it's 4 times, like I want to know more about that. And like I said in my recaps episode, like I just don't feel like Taylor organically fits with this cast anymore. Unless she wants to spill the beans on him cheating 4 times, and then I want to know like more about that, then I'll watch. But anyway. Okay, so we just have like a tad of Real Housewives of OC news. Jennifer Pedranti did an AMA Ask Me Anything on Instagram over the weekend, and she said, I miss everyone. Anything we need to talk about. And someone said, you inspire me. I love how you don't give a shit about the haters and show your heart with Ryan. And she responded, funny, I actually do care. I care for those that matter. I feel good in the mom I am, the friend, daughter, sister I am. I will ride with my man at Ryan Boyajian always. Thank you for the kindness. And then someone said, are you looking forward to the next season and do you think the cast should change? And she said, I'm super hopeful for another season. I have always felt beyond grateful for this opportunity. The cast is good. We had a great season. Why fix something that is not broken? Now, do I wish some would dial it back and jump off the playing FBI cops alcohol monitor train? Yes. But our cast is great, and I believe all of our personalities are just what make it interesting. So I was actually surprised to hear that. This gives the impression that Jen doesn't want Tamara to leave the cast, which is interesting. Like, I agree. I actually just didn't think that from Jen, of all people. I don't think we do need any casting changes in OC except Alexis, of course. Like, this past season was perfect. No additional notes. So I agree. I hope they don't bring anyone on new, and I hope Alexis is gone. We have a smidge of Real Housewives of Atlanta news. I have been staying out of the whole Kim Zolciak, Kroy Biermann divorce drama thing. Have not really been reading about it, but since I'm doing Bravo News episodes now, I feel like I've got to jump into this mess, which means I'm probably going to have several updates about these two per week because that seems to be what's going on. So, as you recall, these two were married for like 9 years or something like that, and they have like 4 kids, six together with like her other kids. And they were so in love. They met like on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then just shit went down. And they have just been at each other's throats for what feels like years now, but it's probably been months. So just last week, Kim and Kroy accused each other of stealing a new 911 body cam footage. Kim says that Kroy stole her iPad, and Kroy calls Kim a pathological liar. And one of the officers says that they can't keep responding to the home for divorce drama when it's not an emergency. So I'm actually going to play you this clip from the body cam footage.
Yeah, do you want to come over here with me?
No, because last time I did that, he started taking all my shoes and running.
Well, we're here, so nothing's gonna be stolen. All right.
Come on.
Okay, we're good.
I've been out of town for a week working.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's removed a bunch of belongings.
Okay.
And he's stolen my laptop or my iPad. He's stolen all sorts of stuff out of the storage unit. I'm just trying to get my clothes and my shoes out of here and be done. I have my U-Haul back on its way here with 2 guys. I've been unloading my stuff, and that's what he did.
So he stole your laptop.
He stole my iPad. He stole all this stuff out of my storage unit downstairs, which is my private access. I'm trying to look for the attachment right now that I have access to the thing Monday through Friday. And he's not allowed to be in here from 9 to 3.
Okay. And where does it say he's not supposed to be?
I'm trying to get them on the phone right this second.
Okay.
Let me call them. So I'm just trying to get my stuff. That's all I want. I just want my clothes and my stuff, which is rightfully mine, and to get out.
All right.
And until I get my iPad back and the stuff he stole from me, he won't get his laptop back from me. It's not, I don't operate like this. I'm tired of being stolen.
So you took his laptop, and he took your phone, but you took
He
his
took my
laptop.
iPad. He's taken my cameras out of my room. He's broken into my room. I have it all documented. I have it. He jerked off. Want me to show you the jerk off video of him jerking off on my camera? I'll show you guys. No, I'm.
Let's just work on getting paperwork.
Yeah, you want to come over here just a little bit?
No, it wasn't spying. I watched you grab them and move them.
Because I want to get this done as simply as possible. I understand. I understand that.
That's it. I'm just looking for a court order.
Okay, that's enough of that. And then I'm going to read you guys this TMZ article that also just came out that said Kim and Kroy's Thanksgiving holidays had plenty of family drama. We've learned cops were called after the estranged couple got into a heated exchange in front of their kids just before Turkey Day. In the new incident report obtained by TMZ, the Milton Police Department explains that they were dispatched on Wednesday to Kim and Kroy's Georgia home, which is set to be auctioned off today for a domestic violence call. Per the report, Kim said that she and Kroy got into a tense argument while taking curtains down in their home, with the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum painting her estranged hubby as the aggressor. She claims Kroy got confrontational with her, resulting in him physically removing her from the ladder by throwing her to the ground. According to the report, the incident took place in front of some of Kim's children, including one of her daughters who spoke with the authorities. But cops say the youngster painted a very different picture from Kim's account, stating KZ fell from the ladder during a disagreement with KB. Cops say the child told them Kroy was the one initially taking the curtains down, prompting Kim to get upset. Kim then allegedly got on the ladder and began removing the curtains herself before falling on top of Kroy. When asked, cops say the girl said Kroy spoke with her and encouraged her to be honest with the police, but denied she was instructed on what to say. Another one of the kids apparently told police they did not witness Kroy pull Kim from the ladder, saying he came upstairs and interrupted the argument after hearing it unfold from down in the basement. According to the report, Kroy allegedly Kim had attacked him from behind and struck him in the face. Despite the contradicting statements, Kim stuck by her story, leaving officers unable to determine who the primary aggressor was in the incident. No arrests were made. The estranged twosome, who are in the middle of a messy divorce, were encouraged to steer clear of each other, although cops note neither were willing to leave the house. So, one of the reasons I have stayed out of this whole thing is because I know so many of the kids are involved, and I just feel so bad for the kids here. Like, this is just such a mess of a situation. This seems like a daily occurrence, and I just don't understand why they are both in the house. Like, is this like an Ariana and Tom situation? Or what I recall, like, they can't afford it? I don't even know, but this is so toxic, and I just feel like someone's gonna end up dead here. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, this feels like it's getting to such a violent situation that it just feels very unsafe for everyone involved. All right, but in some very exciting happy news, in some summer house news, yesterday, meaning Sunday, Lindsay Hubbard gave birth to her baby. Congratulations to Lindsay Hubbard. Okay, so the baby's name is Gemma Britt Koof. Okay, so it's spelled Gemma. That's the first name, Gemma. And the middle name is Britt, Britt, and the last name is Koof, which I think is her boyfriend's last name, Kufe. Congratulations to Lindsay. Congratulations to her boyfriend. This is so exciting for her. I am very excited to watch her through this journey, whether it be on Instagram or whether it be on the show. She's going to be an amazing mom. This is what she's always wanted. Congratulations again, Lindsay Hubbard. You are a mom and you're going to do amazing things as a mom. So this is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed your news-only episode, and I will see you on Saturday for your mini recaps. Love you, BB. See you next time. Thank you for listening to I Take Bravo Very Seriously in partnership with Hurrdat Media. You can listen to this show and any other episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch full-length video episodes on Hurrdat Entertainment's YouTube channel. You can follow me on Instagram at I Take Bravo Very Seriously and at The Bravo Investigator. You can follow me on TikTok at The Bravo Investigator. If you enjoy the show, please leave a 5-star review. Love you, BBs. See you next time.
A Hurrdat Media Production.